and make sure its energy is good in order to come out and top in some of these matches. Again, I will be flying solo in this match until Dario returns, so it'll be just me doing commentary as Hadi Shaban, who I mentioned a couple minutes ago, hits into the net. So we got a 1-1 score. Ben Franklin and Arizona College Prep in the third pool play match today. Again, each team is going to play 4, and then that will lead into postseason play, or excuse me, bracket play, however that might line up. Ben Franklin has the ball on their side right now. They send over a free ball to Basel Al Hassan. Hadi Shaban gets it to Elias Hernandez, who tips it over. The Chargers get it. An attack in the middle, goes down, and the Chargers pick up the point. So after ACP got the first point with the block and some action in the back row, it's now 2-1 in favor of Ben Franklin, who controls points. So Ben Franklin off to a similar start to St. Mary's, what they had against ACP. ACP had a great start against Marana, starting 7-0 in the first set and then going on a 7-0 run in the second set in order to take that one. But playing some good competition here has tested the Knights, and they're going to have to figure things out if they want to go on an advantage here. 2 straight attacks for Ian Booth, the outside hitter. But then Ben Franklin takes advantage of it and goes down the line on the right side. And the Chargers are playing some really good, spirited volleyball right now, attacking from all assets. They've had a middle kill, and they've had a look at the outside, and then that one was a great ball to the outside to take a 3-1 lead for the Chargers. Here's Ian Booth on the pass, serve, receive. Tanner Hamlin took a little bit early on his jump, and now it's 4-1 in favor of Ben Franklin. So this is something to keep an eye on, is ACP has allowed runs a lot today. They've allowed some 5-0 runs from the other teams, and a lot of it has to do with the serve receive. And for a young team that's kind of adjusting without guys, a couple years ago they lost 8 seniors from their, a lot of seniors from their roster, I believe 7, 8 seniors. And they had to come up with guys in the back row and bring over new players for guys who necessarily haven't played volleyball before. This is a new thing for them. And this is something that they're going to have to adjust to, is playing in these high stakes matches, in these tournament games, when things are going to get tiring, and staying competitive in it. And right now they're having a little bit of trouble, down 6-1 to Ben Franklin. A tip down the line goes out. And so Coach KJ of Arizona College Prep is trying to encourage his guys to stay composed here and stay in this match. Ben Franklin controlling serve. Basel Al Hassan gets serve receive. They go to the middle attack. It's Elias Hernandez, and he's able to bring it down, and the Knights break the spurt to get their second point of the set. So Ian Booth is going to come back to serve now for the Knights. Serves that one over. Ben Franklin's going to go to the outside again. It gets down the line again on Arizona College Prep's block. And Coach KJ is instructing his guys to bring it in on that block, because Ben Franklin's doing a great job of going down the line and also exploiting their middle attack to start. So a good start for them. Again, it's 8-2. And for ACP, where sets count, this is where they're going to have to start to reel it into gear. As Lucas McDougall gets an attempt on the outside. Ben Franklin picks it up, and they get another kill on the outside. Again, great start for the Chargers right now. This one's going to go toward the back. ACP tries to save it, and it's going to be off the back row, and it's now 2-10. Ben Franklin has reached double digits in this set, with ACP getting the first point, and Ben Franklin has since reeled off 10 of 11. Here's Hadi Shaban with the back set. Goes away. And then ACP gets on the outside attack. Ben Franklin's going to get ACP is going to get an opportunity. You've got a longer point going on here. Elias Hernandez gets it to Hadi Shaban. Back to Elias, who sends it over at the left hand. Kind of a tight ball that Ben Franklin's going to tip down the line, and ACP will pick up the point. Ben Franklin wanted to touch, but it looks like they will not get it on that ball. So ACP has their third point. Again, they've had opportunities today where they have come back from deficits. They were down 12-8 against St. Mary's in the first set that they came back and won 25-24. They were down 22-19, but a deficit that's growing almost to double digits is something that they're going to have to work through and kind of do it quickly as the 15-point mark approaches quick in this match. 4-10 now in favor of Ben Franklin. They're going to go to their back row, to their libero, who sends it over. And then Tanner Hamlin gets a look on the opposite side, and that's an advantage right there ACP has to get back, is using the right side hitter. Tanner Hamlin's a lefty, so that will create some extra opportunities through the block for him. So ACP kind of starting to slowly figure things out now. Let's see if they can control their attack, which is something they're going to have to do. They can't play free ball, ball and let Ben Franklin get the opportunity to attack on their own. And there's an opportunity right there that ACP gets down the middle. And so now it's 6-10, and the Knights are finding their rhythm, and it's starting with the middle attack. They're moving it to the opposite end, and then if they can get the outside going with Ian Booth and some of those strong hitters, that'll be a way to kind of execute to the best of their abilities. An error on Ben Franklin from the other side. The setter sets it back into the net, and now the Chargers are kind of a little bit of a twirl. So Elias Hernandez is still serving strong for ACP, keeping things up. He's going to go again with a little bit of a jump serve that lands kind of short of the 10-foot line. That one goes to the outside. Elias gets a fist on it and goes toward the net, but the Knights aren't able to get it back up, so Ben Franklin's able to break that little spurt from ACP. So again, that's what the Knights are going to need after digging themselves in a little bit of a hole, but they're going to need a lot more of it as they still trail by 4. Good pass from Lucas McDougall out of the serve receive. Tanner Hamlin sends a free ball through the block, and then that ball goes out of bounds. A good recovery by Jad Alshek to kind of identify that and make sure that the Knights get the point. So ACP within 3 in striking distance. And again, these sets are crucial because that's how today's pool plays are being determined today for seeding in the tournament bracket this afternoon, which should go until about 3 or 4 p.m. Lucas McDougall gets an opportunity on the outside that forces Ben Franklin to send a free ball over. Jad Alshek and Lucas is going to get another opportunity. Lands short that the Chargers get. Outside free ball. Jad's able to pick that up. Hattie's going to send it over toward the middle. Knights get an attack on it, but we have a little bit of a rally here. Down ball by the back row of Ben Franklin, and Jad is unable to get under it. And so the Chargers win a big point. So those are the kind of plays, if you're trying to find momentum in this game, that need to go your way, and for ACP it did not. Lucas McDougall got a big kill on the left side, and that's the way to get some momentum back. ACP back within 3. So Lucas, we talked about it earlier, is a transplant basketball player, and he had an injury earlier in the year with his foot playing basketball. He had to recover, but now he's trying volleyball for the first time, and really a quick learner. You can see his approach. He's got the right technique. He's hitting down, and he's got the right idea. And in terms of being new, the only thing he has to really focus on is that timing and making sure he's coming down on the ball at the right time, and that he's adjusting to the set, because he's not going to get a consistent set all the time, especially depending on the passes. And ACP working on their serve receive currently, that's going to kind of dictate what those passes are going to look like. But if he can continue to develop that way, he and Ian Booth could be a really strong pairing on the outside for this Knights team. So as we mentioned, that ACP has pulled back within a point at 12-11. And then they get an opportunity to attack in the middle, and a big block in the middle, and the Knights are able to tie it. That's a way to get it up. A big opportunity there for ACP. And middle, Zach Lund, who is really impressed today. He's shown a lot. This is his first year on the varsity team, but he's had some great blocks. He's had great timing on the middle. He's active and shows a lot of energy, and he's one of those guys that, if can develop, he's going to be a really strong piece for the middle attack, which ACP really needed to address at the beginning of the year with some of the guys being absent. The Knights send back over a ball. Jad's able to get under it and get a dig, but the point does go to Ben Franklin. Looks like, not sure exactly what the call was there, but the Chargers will get the point, so advantage to them, 13-12. So Ben Franklin's libero will get the serve it in, and that one goes straight down. A little bit of a miscommunication between John Canner and Jad Alshek, and right back and middle back. So those are the plays that need to be cleaned up. There's another opportunity. It goes right to Jad, drops right in front of him. So ACP is going to need a side out here to kind of regain some momentum. Ben Franklin establishing that big lead they had at the beginning of the match. It was as many as 8. And now it's back to 3. And a big kill down the line for Ian Booth. Might have been his best kill of the day. Straight down. And, you know, Ian's really been working a lot on his volleyball game. We talked about it in the first game. Ian's a former basketball player and really picked up volleyball and committed to it during his freshman year. And it's starting to become his sport. And a big focus for him has been increasing his vertical. And I know at the latest I've talked to him, his vertical is approaching 28 inches, which is very good standing. And the big thing for him is trying to get that up so he can continue, because he's still growing. He's actually getting close to 6'3" now, and very lanky, and absolutely has some weight to put on, but he has a lot of bounce and potential, and that's one, as he can develop that, his outside game is going to continue to be strong this year for the Knights, and I'm sure next year as another block. And then ACP is able to tie it at 15. So the crucial point of 15, we talked about, Ben Franklin was nearing it at 10-2. And now ACP has tied it. So this is a match that's going to come down to, it's almost like a basketball game when you look at possession base. It's going to come down to serve base. And that's an opportunity ACP just missed right there with the serve going into the net. Serve goes over for Ben Franklin. Hadi Shaban's going to try the outside again to Ian Booth. Tries for the line again, but that one just goes straight out. So Ian's been able to attack a couple different places today. He's able to go cross court. He's gone toward the middle. Try and line in this set. That one was just unable to get down, going a little bit outside. Ben Franklin's going to send a down ball over, but it's going to be a double, so ACP is going to get the point. 17-16 now in favor of the Knights, as they'll look to take the lead and get an opportunity here. Hadi Shaban drops the set toward the right back. A quick attack by the Chargers. Basel Hassan gets up. Elias Hernandez gets a hand on, but Basel was on the ground, so wasn't able to get enough momentum to get the ball back over. But an effort by the Knights that, you know, is warranted in a match like this. Here's the serve back over. Ian Booth tries to get a touch on it. Kind of intersected Basel in terms of getting up that pass, but wasn't able to get it directly to the setter. It went kind of short. And so now, when it was tied at 15, Ben Franklin has since reeled out 4 of 5 to take a 19-16 lead. Ian Booth gets an opportunity on the outside, sends a tip off the right shoulder of Ben Franklin's blocker, and that's a smart play to get ACP back into it. It's 19-17 now in favor of Ben Franklin. John Canner subs out, and ACP is going to have its hitters in, Lucas McDougall, Elias Hernandez, and Tanner Hamblin. And they're going to have to control that attack in order to come back here now, as Ben Franklin is up 20-17 in this first set of the third match of Arizona College Prep's pool play. Excuse me, it looked like ACP got that point. So 18-19, Ian Booth's going to get to serve. Does that jump kind of float serve that he has. Ben Franklin's going to send over a free ball, but it doesn't get over the net because it went in and touched the top. So that'll be it. And as it stands, it looks like my partner's back. So we're going to welcome Daria back to the broadcast here once she gets settled. Welcome back.
All right, hello.
Good to have you back with me.
Yeah.
I was flying solo here, so I'll fill you in since you just got back. ACP was down 10-2 to Ben Franklin here in the opening set.
All right.
It was tied at 15. They brought it back to tied at 15. Ben Franklin took a 19-15 advantage, and ACP has since took the lead, and now it's tied. So
all right,
back and forth. Ben Franklin's got a really strong front attack, especially from the outside. They've gone to the back row a couple times, so that's some of the ways they've been looking to execute in this match. There's Basel with getting the ball up in the back row. Finds Lucas McDougall, who sends a short ball over, just over the net, but it falls, and the Knights take a 1-point lead.
Looks like the energy was picked up from last time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's immediately the first thing I noticed from the Knights.
That's been a big part of it. And really, ACP has played well today. It's a matter of falling in they've dug themselves in some holes that they've had to dig out of. And you know, they've been able to do so, but that's the difference maybe in some of these close matches is a couple of those points that sway not their way. So as we stand now, 21-21. Jad Alshite gets the serve receive in the back. Tanner Hamlin tries to get an opportunity to go right side, but he hits into the net. So now we have another change of score. It's going to be 22-21 Ben Franklin. Again, another one of these sets coming down to the wire for the Knights. Ian Booth on the serve receive. Lucas McDougall goes back row and finds a kill. So another kill for Lucas.
All right.
Tanner Hamlin's going to have an opportunity now. All these points are crucial. Remember, the pool play sets just go to 25. There is no win by 2. So the first to 25, right? The first to 25 will be the winner. And ACP gets a kill. 23-22 in favor of the Knights. So 2 more, and they'll be able to pick up their 4th one set of the day. Tanner, another jump serve, goes tight into the net. Ben Franklin can't corral it, and the Knights are 1 point away from taking this set.
All right, big lefty serve over here.
This is going to be it.
Yeah.
The lefty, Tanner Hamlin. Knights bench is on their feet looking to take this set. Off the block, Hattie Shaban saves it. Tight ball. Goes back over. Ben Franklin's going to go to the outside, which has been effective. And it drops.
All right,
so
and now
save point.
ACP is still at set point, so hoping they can get this first attack going.
Knights bench is on their feet again. Again, it's going to come down to these last 2 points. However it may go. Ian Booth gets an opportunity out to Lucas McDougall, who goes short again. Ben Franklin corrals. They go outside with a tip, and it lands. 24-24. So this will decide it. This is the set right here.
Whoever gets this point is going to be the winner of the match. A very hard cap, no win by 2 in this game.
This will be it right here. The Knights are on their feet. Knights have to side out to win. Ian Booth gets the serve receive pass. They're going to go outside to Lucas, who saves it from going almost near the wall. Ben Franklin sends over free ball. Ian tips it. Lucas is going to free ball it back over. Chargers going outside. A big dig by Lucas McDougall, and it drops.
And the Knights win. An amazing final point. A huge dig by Lucas McDougall.
Unbelievable. And Ben Franklin has got to be, they were up 10-2 in that set. They brought it back to tie it at 24, had momentum, had a huge swing. Lucas McDougall just got his platform there, sent it back over, and again, one of the new players we talked about, he's the hero of that set.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just talking about that momentum, once again, just like we talked about in previous matches, it can shift within one play, and look at that, the Knights come out with the win in the end, so that's amazing.
That was an incredible victory by the Knights. So again, that's the difference. That's their 4th one set of the today, and if you look at it, if they win the 1 point against St. Mary's, they would be a perfect 5-0 right now. But you know, that's a way to pull it out, and it came down to 24-24 again, and last time ACP wasn't able to capitalize. This time they were. So a show of resilience for the Knights, which is something you want to see if you're Coach KJ and Coach Orr, to kind of see as this, you know, this match progresses and this pool play continues today. So let's see how Ben Franklin responds here. This was a very good start for them in the first set. They had their opportunities, they brought it back, and now they're going to have to battle that, and that kind of battle and momentum, and which is huge in volleyball. We're talking about it. That's something they're going to have to overcome, as ACP won a crucial point to win that last set.
Yeah, and also we noticed from their first game, ACP, when they played Marana, they did win that first set, but that momentum had shifted to Marana just at the very end. But for this one, ACP did keep that momentum in the very end, so that's very important going into the second set.
Absolutely. Hattie Shaban's going to get an opportunity to serve here, and Coach Orr and Coach KJ are talking strategy for ACP. So Coach KJ has taken a lot of the role here for the Knights today. He's been on the sidelines. Coach Orr has been kind of hands-off, and through these first couple games, she's allowed KJ to coach and be close with the guys. Is that a strategy, you think, just to more get guys acclimated with someone who played boys volleyball before that can maybe point out some things that Coach Orr might not see as much in terms of playing with guys?
Yeah, maybe seeing it from a different perspective. That really does help for the guys, and just having like kind of a role model to mirror when they do play. And since he did play so much volleyball in his high school years and stuff like that, I think that's really cool for them to see and connect with him on that aspect.
And he shares a lot in common with these players. When I talked to him and met him for the first time last week, he told me he was a first-time basketball player in high school.
Oh yeah, just like a lot of the guys.
Right, and then he grew, and volleyball became his main sport.
Yeah, yeah.
But it started with basketball, and he became a middle blocker for Chandler. They made a couple state tournament runs. He was a big part of their team, so it goes to show, if you start somewhere, and you can always end up with volleyball, and you can always improve that way.
Yeah, just having those like athletic mindsets and skills really do help you in all the sports, especially all the team sports when you have that team experience.
So now the Knights are getting underway with set 2 here against Benjamin Franklin. Hadi Shaban's going to start with serving. He goes to the left back. Ben Franklin gets a tip on the outside. Elias Hernandez is going to send it to the outside. Ian Booth is deflected off the block, and Ian's able to get that one. So Ian went last time, Daria, a couple times down the line, a couple times angle, and then that one utilizing the block in order to get the kill.
All right, yeah. Yeah, varying his attack is probably working very well with the Benjamin Franklin team, who's trying to pick up on some trends that we have.
And in one time, he did go down the line in the last set as Ben Franklin picks up the point. They were able to pick up on that and kind of send it out of bounds or force Ian to hit toward the out of bounds line. It went out, and so this was a good show for him to kind of bring it back in and vary it and try to move it around.
All right, yeah. So we have a 1-1 tie at the moment with Benjamin Franklin with the serve.
And now it's going to go to the Knights.
Looks like that was either a net violation or a double.
So the Knights will get it, and they're up 2-1 in this set. So already kind of a better start for ACP than last set when they went down 10-2. That was a rough one to get going. Ben Franklin looked like that one might have been a fourth ball, but the ref calls it a block as the Knights send it back over with a tip off the left hand of Elias Hernandez.
And a huge block.
A huge block.
From Matisse Hervé.
And look at Bossel and some of the guys and Zach hugging on the bench. That was a great play.
That was
an
awesome form. Right off the hands of Matisse.
I brought Bossel on before this match, kind of a player interview to talk about him and his senior leadership and what he's kind of learned from this day. And the thing he talked about is the play's so fast now that you really just got to take what you can get and go.
Yeah.
And he's done a really good job with that, being a leader.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's different for him this time, being a senior, and he's been in these tournaments before, so he knows what to expect and how to pace himself.
Yeah.
And that's something that this team it seems like they're starting to figure out in some of these matches.
Yeah, especially keeping that calm during difficult moments in a game. It's very nice to have seasoned players and people who have had that experience to share with you and keep you on your toes all the time.
So we got Jonah Mello is in this game. He's in the back row now passing. Again, this is the first time, looks like the first time we've seen him today. A little bit of a out of control play, ends off the block of Lucas McDougall, and Benjamin Franklin ties it at 3-3.
He ended up pushing that ball right through the hands of Matisse.
So Ben Franklin is serving. And again, unfortunately, we cannot provide you the names of Benjamin Franklin's roster. They were not apparent in our roster sheet earlier in the game, and then on Max Preps, they have not inputted their roster. But they are a 2-0 team this season in play. They played leading edge, and then they had another game, which they won the other night. As that one was a huge kill by Ben Franklin. Went off the body of it looked like Ian Booth. And so Ben Franklin, a big play for them as they take a 4-3 advantage. Serve's going to go to Jonah. Elias picks it up. Free ball over by Lucas. Back to the Chargers libero, who sends a tip right over the block. The Knights can't recover, and Ben Franklin another point.
Yeah, it looks like the Knights were expecting another strong swing from that middle since they had just had that.
So a good attack variance too from Ben Franklin, who's looking to establish a rhythm that they had at the beginning of the last set with that 10-2 advantage. Lucas is going to send over a down ball, tight on the net. Ben Franklin sends it over. The Knights are going to have to send over another touch. Back row attack.
Looks like the libero down balls it.
Lucas has got to tip it over on the outside. Ben Franklin sends it to the
And
outside.
a huge block again from Matisse.
Matisse. Again, his brother could block. His brother, Tyus, was a very good blocker at ACP, and Matisse is picking up on the family lineage there.
Yep.
With that block. That's 2 on the outside that he's had.
Huge form right on that outside hitter, and that's super crucial, especially since that's one of their main hitters is their outside. So
Ben Franklin a little bit out of control on their serve receive set, a little bit off target for their setter, and it drops down. So ACP is crawled their way back into it, and they're picking up some momentum right now.
yeah, it looks like their middle for Benjamin Franklin has lost a bit of the connection with their setter. So
And that's
a
the one
plus
that
for
timing
ACP.
is probably all important
Yep.
in that attack.
And Ben Frank just took the lead from when ACP had just tied it up.
So here's an opportunity for the Chargers. Again, nothing really swaying in this set so far. No real changes of momentum, just back and forth play by the Knights and the Chargers. Hadi Shaban's going to go outside to Lucas McDougall. He goes off the block, and it looks like he got into the net a little too close. So Coach KJ's is clarifying on that, but another thing for Lucas is positioning as a new player.
Yep.
Making sure he lands in front of the net and not into it, so he doesn't cost points like that.
And a huge block for Benjamin Franklin by their outside.
So now the Chargers are starting to establish a little bit of a rhythm. They have a 3-point lead. They're going to try to keep up and stay in this rotation and try to extend it back out. Here's Hadi Shaban with a really nice back set to Matisse Hervé.
And barely tooling the block there, going almost into the net on the other side.
Great play for Matisse. Again, who's provided a lot of energy today. When his name's been called upon, he's come in. He's served really well. He's hit well from a couple of different areas, and he's blocking well. There's another rocket serve down to the libero. Chargers try to tip that. Knights pick up on it. Lucas is going to get an outside attack. That
Looks like a
lands toward the back corner.
super smart deep swing.
A good swing for Lucas, and it looked like that maybe wasn't the hit he wanted, but it worked out anyway,
Yeah.
putting it toward the back corner.
Maybe they were expecting something else, but he gave that deep swing, and that always works very well, those deep corners.
Lucas might have had the best kill of his season in the last set. He nailed it off the guy's shoulder.
Oh, wow.
In the back row. So he's shown the potential to hit really well down. It's just a matter of those little things.
Yeah,
and
building
that's
up.
where consistency comes in.
Building up that consistency will take time, but obvious.
Lucas goes corner again. He liked that spot, it looked like. That
Yeah.
one's just going to go out of bounds, though.
Looks like that's his natural tendency to go that deep corner, and I mean, it works well, so.
Varying his attack will be another thing. Ian Booth with a nice pass to Hadi Shaban. Down for Zach.
And a
Who
huge
gets the kill for
swing.
Arizona College Prep. A really great setup for ACP out of the serve receive.
Yeah. Setting up that middle connection once again. Hopefully we can keep that one rolling.
The lost start of the middle attack, it's kind of like the mid-range jump shot in basketball. Something that's not as utilized, but can be very, very effective for changing things up.
And barely off the block of the Knights,
Look at
landing
Zach
very
Ian.
cross inside of our court.
Zach Lund and Ian Booth went up for that one and weren't able to close it in as it deflected toward the opposite end and out. 11-8 lead for Benjamin Franklin. Ian Booth's going to get an opportunity and goes off the block and hits a player on the bench from Ben Franklin. So Ian Booth is able to find that gap in the block, and there's the deflection, and ACP gets the side out they need.
Yep. ACP is doing a great job of finding those holes in the block and really using them to their advantage as they inch closer to getting this game tied up.
Jonah Mello is in, and he's serving. Opportunity's going to go to the opposite end, and Ben Franklin has a left-side hitter, or excuse me, a left-handed hitter of their own, intersecting that block, and the Chargers pick up the side out.
Yeah, it looks like the Chargers still have that 3-point lead against ACP, and they are trying to increase that lead if they can.
This one's going to go down to John Kanner, who gets it up. Great pass, great set. Elias Hernandez gets it. It goes up onto the roof and falls down in the bench, and a point for the Knights.
Next up to serve, we have Hattie Shaban once again.
So the Knights are back in their rotation that started the match. Started the set. Hattie was there. Set the serving at first.
Yeah, looks like Jonah has made an appearance now
Yeah.
in the back row.
Ian Booth tries to go up and doesn't need to. It goes right into the net, and the Knights pick up a point. So 2 in a row for ACP. Looking to hold serve here as this set is very close. Again, the last one, ACP held on to win 25-24. They held a 24-22 advantage. Came down to the final point, and the Knights were able to pull it off.
A huge single block by Ian Booth as the Benjamin Franklin team tips it straight into his arms.
It looked like Ben Franklin was just trying to get that one over a little eye control, and Ian picked up right on it, put it right down on the court where he needed to.
And looks like we've got a tied game here, so.
It does. Hattie Shaban serving strong, 3 in a row for the Knights. Ben Franklin's going to tip, goes toward the back row. Jonah's going to pick it up. Hattie goes outside
and
to Ian,
off the block.
And in the back.
Off the block kill by Ian Booth.
4 in a row for ACP.
Oh yeah. Looks like we've got that lead now.
So Hattie's serving strong. Again, very versatile player, has experience hitting at a bunch of different angles. Ben Franklin goes to their middle attack, and they pick up the side out that they need. So that ends a 4-0 run from ACP.
Yep. All right, now number 7 is serving for Benjamin Franklin.
And again, we apologize that we cannot bring the names of Benjamin Franklin's players. We could not find it. They didn't provide.
And a beautiful down-the-line swing from Ian Booth.
As he gets that up, Ian's going to get another opportunity. Roll shot. Tight again. Ben Franklin sends it over. Elias Hernandez gets a fist to send it back for ACP. Chargers go outside, off 1, off 2, and toward the bench, and the Knights drop that point, and now they trail 14-13.
Looks like a bit of an out-of-system play on both ends for that play, so.
Left-handed serve for Ben Franklin. Hattie Shaban gets an opportunity, goes middle. Tight at the net. Knights go to battle with it.
Amazing up by Hattie.
And it looks like, yeah, just a miscommunication there. ACP couldn't send it back over. 2 guys trying to send the free ball, and it just landed back square into the net.
Yep, looks like Benjamin Franklin leads by 2 again.
Another opportunity for ACP to side out. Ian Booth on the outside. Big hit, gets on the block, though. Ben Franklin picks it up, goes outside, down the line of their own. A great play by the Chargers.
Yep, barely finding that hole in the block at the last minute for that last point.
So time now for ACP to figure things out. They had an advantage, but Ben Franklin since turned the tables. Knights go deep corner, and it goes out. So that was an attempt that did not work from the T-Survey.
Yep. All right.
ACP suddenly in a 4-point hole here.
Looks like they need to get a hold of that first ball and then have an in-system play to get it done, to get that ball back.
Here we go. Chargers send it over. There's Jonah getting it up. Hattie goes back for Ian, who is unable to get over. It just goes into the net. So ACP, their control's a little off right now, Daria. You got to get a point right here. What do you try to do? What kind of attack do you try to set up?
Honestly, I think we're trying to hit that outside because Ian Booth has been very consistent.
That one falls back over. Ben Franklin barely gets it over. Let's see what they do here. Hattie goes middle. Elias Hernandez. Chargers pick it up. They're going to do a back row attack. And it looks like that goes to the Chargers. Goes to the back row. Coach KJ wanted a lift on the set. Looked like he's arguing it was a beach set.
As well as looking like the ball was out, and the line judge called it out, although the ref overturned both of those calls. So
interesting sequence there, but regardless, the Knights now trail 19-13.
Looks like KJ is arguing about the ref calling it out.
And that's the second time this official has overruled a call from the outside. We saw one a couple matches ago where it went down the left. ACP gets a free ball over, and see what they call. They called a replay
a replay on that play.
But ACP
for some
was
reason
able to get it back over. So Coach KJ might have a little bit of credibility to what he's arguing here.
Yeah, looks like a couple plays in a row just going back and forth against the Knights. So
regardless, Ben Franklin will get another opportunity, leading 19-13 here in the second set. Down the line goes Matisse Hervé through the block. 2 hands on the ball for ACP, but the ball goes through and it does land
deep
the free ball for
line,
the Knights.
hitting that deep line like the Knights have been hitting all day.
So it looks like we're having a little bit of a clarification between the official and the scorers table, as Lucas McDougall is going to check back in for John Canner, who played in the back row a couple points ago.
All right, we have
Ian Booth's serve tapes the net, but goes over. ACP gets a chance. It's a back row attack and it goes out. So Ian tried to get that one from behind the 10-foot line.
Yeah, some good aggression by Ian Booth, though. I feel like that's very important right now to keep that aggressive and not just limiting it to the tips. So that's not the worst in the world.
Right. Things are going to have to start now for ACP.
A very, very smart tip there.
Goes back and forth and gets the point. So the Knights 20-15 down. Elias is going to have to get him on a run here as Benjamin Franklin is approaching the set point. Again, ACP has been in this scenario before. They've been down about 5 or 6 points going into these last sets. It's just a matter of the momentum coming, and will it come? We'll see. Ben Franklin goes outside to tip. Hattie Shaban gets it. The setter's out, though. Ian's going to have to send over a down ball from the back row. Ben Franklin picks up on it.
And a huge block. Huge block from the middle.
And a big block from Zach. And the Knights pick up the point they need. It's 16-20.
All right, looks like they have limited the lead of Benjamin Franklin to 4 points. So slowly cracking down on that.
Hit goes down the line for Ben Franklin. And that one was in. Coach KJ looked at his team and he's like, yep, that was in. Bossel Hassan's going to check in for Elias Hernandez now.
Honestly, with that swing, that was just a very good swing. Not much you can do about that. So
sometimes you got to give and live on with those.
Yep.
Hattie's going to go outside to Lucas McDougall, who sends it. Try to go to that back corner again.
Awesome block
from ACP.
And then a miscommunication by Benjamin Franklin gets ACP the point.
Zach Hunt's done a great job today of getting up for blocks, and he's proven to be a very effective player in the middle. He's got a very long wingspan. Also plays with a lot of energy, has a good vertical too.
Yep. A nice side spin serve.
That was one that worked well for Matisse Hervé. The Knights get a free ball out of it. Here's Hattie.
Oh, and a good idea by an over on 2.
Here he goes to the middle again. Here's Zach. Doesn't work. Here come the Chargers with the free ball back over. Bossel with the pass. Outside to Lucas.
Looks like a huge deep corner swing from Lucas McDougall once again.
And just like that, the Knights are back within 3. So ACP, they won the first set 25-24. We got another close one here. The Knights were down 21-16, but here they come. Ben Franklin's going to go outside tip. ACP
and they pick that ball up. Beautiful.
Down ball by Ian Booth. Free ball over. Hattie sets it toward the middle. Here's Zach. Goes back over. Ian's going to set up Lucas. Long point here. It's going to be huge, whoever gets this
huge block.
Hattie Shaban.
By Hattie Shaban. Way to end that play. That was amazing.
Huge play for the Knights. That one was going back and forth. Had a couple different rotations. It looked like it was going to drop for ACP.
Yeah, amazing opportunity, staying consistent through it all.
Absolutely. So here's Ben Franklin trying to regain control. And this one will go out. Here come the Knights, down 1, 21-20.
Looks like Benjamin Franklin had that lead, and yet again they have dropped it down to 1 point. ACP down by just 1.
Oh, tough serve, tough serve that goes under the net, and I believe that was Matisse Hervé, but got to shake that one off here. Then he brought it back for ACP, and they have an opportunity still.
A great run by Matisse, though. So
right.
Now
so
they're
Sydney
back
Lyons.
in this game.
Yes, Sydney Lyons is going to check in the back row to pass where Matisse was. Bossel gets it up for Hattie, who goes Zach 1. Zach gets 1, gets 2. Almost drops. Ben Franklin gets a free ball out of it, though.
Now ACP can use this free ball for their advantage.
Here's Lucas.
Amazing swing, just past that left side back row player.
And there it is for Lucas, and the Knights back within one. So they needed the point, they got it. Here they go. Here's another opportunity with John Canner, who has had strong serving today. He has an opportunity here to give his team its 6th one set of the day.
Strong, consistent serving from John. Hopefully they can use this. Oh! And the ball actually goes through the basketball hoop very high, but
how about that?
They might just have to either replay that ball or Benjamin Franklin gets that ball.
Not sure how many times that'll happen again. Regardless, the Chargers get the point. And here we go. Hattie Shaban goes for the middle. No one's there. Ian tries to save it.
A bit of a miscommunication there on the Knights' part. And now Benjamin Franklin leads by 2. Leads by 3, actually.
Yep, 24-21. ACP is going to have to reel off 4 in a row to win this. Basso gets it, goes off the wall, though.
And that is the game. Benjamin Franklin able to finish this set.
So ACP is just finished its 3rd pool match, and the Knights are now 4-2 in sets after dropping 2 close ones to St. Mary's and Ben Franklin. The Knights have their opportunities there, Daria. They just couldn't come through in the end.
Yep, they had a huge comeback there, but weren't able to finish it out, just barely.
So now that's 3 matches through for the Knights. Get a little bit of a break here. We'll go ahead and check out the schedule and see what's going on now.
ACP looks like they'll be off for this next game, and then they'll be on at 11:45 again against North High School. Looking to get 2 more wins.
That'll be ACP's last pool match, and then the Knights will move on to bracket play, however things may lie. We're going to go ahead and check and update that as much as we can for you all listening. In this next intermission, we're going to go ahead and see what the Knights are doing now. And we'll see if we can get another player here, perhaps for an interview. We got Basso last time, so we'll see if we can grab someone else to get down here for an interview.
But very strong showing from the big outsides, Ian Booth and Lucas McDougall. And they ended up getting some errors, but those deep corner swings really did work in the end for the Knights.
And that's a sign of confidence, too, for those guys.
For sure.
Seeing the ball fall and trusting in what they're doing is going to play really big dividends, even though they weren't able to pick up that last set.
Especially from the setter, having that trust in their outsides to get that job done, even if they did get a couple errors, is very important.
So it looks like we got a little bit of a break in the action on both courts. We got Marana and St. Mary's warming up on court 1, which is on the right side. And then right now we've got North High School and Trevor Brown, it appears.
Yep. Trevor Brown and North High School, and Marana versus St. Mary's.
So this will be a little bit of a break in the action for Arizona College Prep. So for now, Daria and I are going to take a little bit of a short intermission ourselves. Thank you all for listening to this broadcast on Sports 360 Arizona, and we'll be back in a few moments. Welcome back to our live broadcast on Sports 360 Arizona. We're here from the ACP VB tournament. My name is Trevor Booth. I'm a student at Arizona State University, also an alumni of Arizona College Prep. And alongside me, I have a player from Benjamin Franklin. We have Nathan Pace here joining me. And Nathan, you're a senior, and you guys had a tough loss in that first set to ACP, but you're able to come back and win that second set. What does that say about the resilience of your group early on?
Our teams, they work hard, and oh man, it was really tiring, but we kept lifting each other up, so we didn't stop.
How do you approach that when you have that opportunity and it doesn't go your guys' way, but then you look forward to the future? How do you guys approach that as a group?
Well, we know that every point makes a difference, so I blew that last point, but they all lifted me up, and we came back last second set.
When you go through a tournament like this, I've talked to another senior from Gilbert Christian. What do you look for in these tournaments? Because you're playing all day, you might be a little bit mentally, physically exhausted at the end of the day. What are the big things you try to take here as you go forward in your season?
Oh, we try to have a good time. We really want that trophy, I guess. No, we just want to work hard and get better as a team.
Sure, and for the rest of the day, you know, what have you learned about your unit and your squad as you get, because this is an early point in the season, but what have you started to learn about you guys and your identity as you move forward?
We've known each other for a long time, and we know how each other play, and each set is better and better, and we just keep working harder.
Appreciate it. Nathan, thank you for coming on the broadcast.
Yeah, of course.
Good luck the rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So we got another interview in from one of the players here at the ACP VB tournament. A lot of action still to come. Arizona College Prep has its last pool match coming today. A lot of teams finishing up as we approach the 1:30 time, and then we'll have bracket play coming shortly after. So thank you all for joining us. We'll be back in a couple moments again. We're going to take a short intermission. I appreciate it, man.
Look at you or the camera? All right.
Welcome back to our live broadcast of the ACP VB tournament here on Sports 360 Arizona. Trevor Booth joined alongside Hattie Shaban. And Hattie, an interesting case for you. You're called up to set for this team, and you're a versatile player. You've had experience playing middle and on the outside. What has that been like for you playing setter?
Honestly, it's been such a great experience. I've never realized how much work setters put into going to the ball, getting to the ball. It's so hard to get your feet under the ball and being able to set just consistently to all of your hitters.
And what have you learned? Because you learn more about your hitters as you set them. So how do you start to pick up on tendencies and what kind of balls people like and how to position it different styles maybe for different people?
Every single time I set, I always, even in the middle of the game, I will ask, was it too high? Was it too low? Is it too far out? And usually they'll tell me, but sometimes they don't want to make me feel bad, so they tell me it's good.
So you guys you're 4-2 right now in sets, and you've had a couple. You had the one where it was 25-24 in advantage of St. Mary's. That one could have went either way. How would you evaluate where your guys are at this point in this tournament?
In this tournament, I'd say we're for sure one of the top teams, and we could, not to brag, but we could beat any team at this tournament. But we just have to keep our consistency up. And I'm glad all these teams came. They're all very good and nice, and the coaches are great too.
And playing in this tournament where it's all day, I talked to a couple of the other players, some of the seniors from the other team, and they say it can be taxing, but you got to take it one game, one play at a time, and just let it come as it goes. What have you learned most from playing in these all-day tournaments and how to pace yourself and kind of play throughout?
I usually just go all out every game. I don't hold back. I don't think any of us hold back. We play hard, and we play throughout. Even if it starts hurting, we'll play through.
And you got one pool match left before kind of things advance into bracket play. What do you guys need to key in on or kind of hone in on before you get to the high stakes kind of action of today?
I'd say right now our serve receive is what we need to start focusing on more. Our hitting is very consistent and powerful. Shout out to Ian Booth for having such great kills and a great day today.
Perfect. And we'll see the Knights one more time coming up. They've got their one last pool match, and then they'll be able to advance to the tournament. And it seems like they'll be a high seed right now, winning 4 seeds. So, Hattie, thanks for coming on.
It was my pleasure.
Good to talk to you. Best of luck the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we'll be back here on Sports 360 AZ. Arizona College Prep in a little bit of a break right now, but when the Knights come back, we will be back, Daria and I. So we're going to take another short break, and then we'll see you then. Thanks for doing that.
keep the headphones kind of off because it's easier for me to talk. Yeah. What's up? Yeah.
Hello all and welcome back to Sports 360 AZ's live coverage of the ACP VB tournament here at Arizona College Prep in Chandler, Arizona. I'm Trevor Booth. Daria Sukareva is back with me. We're about to broadcast the final game of Arizona College Prep's pool play here in the tournament. So far the Knights are 4-2 in sets, so they're at one of the top brackets for this tournament in the upcoming bracket later this afternoon. So some good things for ACP so far, some things that they need to work on. What would you say that does need to be worked on going into this final game?
So worked on, I think they need to work on staying like consistent, keeping the ball in system as much as possible, because obviously a lot of these teams, even if they don't have really big hitters, they are extremely scrappy, as we had mentioned previously, and just taking advantage of the balls you can and putting them down in those spots we see will be crucial in getting those wins for us.
And North High School was a team that played Gilbert Christian earlier today, and Gilbert Christian's been doing pretty good in this tournament. North didn't do well in some of those sets, and they played Trevor Brown, and I think just lost to Trevor Brown. So that will be interesting to see how they do against ACP. ACP has gotten itself in a little bit of a downturn today. They start off really well in some sets, and others they kind of get behind. We've seen them go behind as many as 8 and win a set. That happened against Benjamin Franklin in the last one, and then Ben Franklin took the second set to kind of split. That was ACP's second straight split after taking its first 2 against Marana High School earlier today. So a lot of interesting things to keep an eye on. A big thing for ACP, when they play at their best, it's because they're attacking well. And they have 2 really good outsides. Ian Booth and Lucas McDougall have gotten going in terms of spotting the ball. And for those guys, what does it take for get those going? Obviously, it's going to be a good pass, but what will it take for their confidence to kind of continue as this tournament rolls on?
I think they just need to realize that they need to swing no matter what. Like, there are going to be blocks, there are going to be different situations where it's tough to keep on swinging, but if they keep swinging, they will get some good points for the Knights. And I mean, if they just keep swinging all the time, that won't really vary any offense, and there's just more of a chance to play some good volleyball if they just keep on swinging at that ball. So.
And volleyball is all about control, and in terms of energy control today, it's been Matisse Hervé. He's come in, he's played opposite, and he's served really well too. He's got a really kind of weird spin.
Yeah.
He goes counterclockwise when he serves. I don't know how he does that. I've never seen that before.
A side spin serve, kind of.
It works really well for him, and he's attacking different parts of the court, playing well. And in terms of the bench, Bassel Al-Hassan, one of the seniors of this team, has gotten up and got everyone amplified when good plays happen, and that's what you like to see out of your senior leaders. And for Coach KJ, who's Arizona College Prep's coach, first time going through this is a great experience for him, and he's kind of gotten animated, and he's kind of gotten into it with the officials too, but he's showing really a lot of poise as a first-time coach through a tournament like this.
Very impressive showing from the Knights so far, so let's hope they can take a set or 2 from North High School right now.
And that'll be key because, as we mentioned, this is the last segment of pool play for Arizona College Prep. Their last 2 opportunities to pick up 2 sets before bracket play moves on this afternoon. And looking at the sets that ACP lost, it was a 25-21 second set to Benjamin Franklin High School. The Knights won that first one 25-24, and keep in mind the sets just do go to 25. There is no win by 2 rule in pool play. And then the other one they lost was a 25-24 set to St. Mary's. So a couple of them could have gone either way. ACP's been really competitive in this tournament, and they have an opportunity to get another 2 sets under their belts here.
Yep. And as we see, Jonah Mello has put on that libero jersey for us starting out this game against North High School.
And that's interesting because Arizona College Prep has not had a libero today. Jonah got in the last match, and he's starting to play well here. Ian Booth tried to go down the line with the tip. North picks up the block, and they pick up the first point.
And watching North play in the previous game, I noticed some things that they don't have very many aggressive attackers, but they do place the ball very well. So to keep an eye out on that for the Knights.
Hattie Shaban tries to go to the outside on Tanner Hamlin, who's the left-handed hitter for the Knights. He goes back to the opposite end, and someone stepped under the net for ACP, and North's going to start off with the 2-0 advantage. So North coming in, they've played 2 regular season games already. They lost to Carl Hayden Community, and that was their first game earlier this week. It was a 3-1 loss, and then they played Central last night at home, and they did beat them 3-0. So this team does have a regular season win. Again, ACP came in, but they did lose to 2 teams that made the state tournament last year. ACP did in Castile and also Horizon Honors.
Yep.
So right now the Knights.
Yeah, it looks like the Knights are down by just 1 point, and we actually got the point, so now we're tied up. So
now tied 2-2. It's going to be Ian Booth serving, who again has done a really good job of attacking different angles. One, he's gotten opportunities to hit. He's gone down the line. He's gone off the block.
Yep.
He's gone in the deep corner. So that's an opportunity for him to continue this game. Again, Jonah Mello, there he was in at libero. This is his first time playing libero in this tournament. Earlier today, we've seen John Canner pass in the back row. We've seen Basal Hassan pass in the back row. It's a little bit of fluctuation, but Jonah will get the libero for the Knights in this set. And Elias Hernandez sends over a free ball that North is going to get back over barely. Hattie Shaban's going to set back set toward the middle. Elias gets it over with the left hand.
Yep.
And the Knights are able to pick it up the point.
Looks like a bit of scrappy play there, not much swinging in that one.
Yeah, so ACP, they are tired right now, but the points have not been ones that they've necessarily controlled. They've been ones that have kind of been over, kind of sloppy points. It's not really a game of their style at this moment.
Elias Hernandez is serving for the Knights.
And Elias gets it over. He goes and tacks middle back. North's going to send it over to their middle attacker, and it does not go over. So the Knights have taken their first advantage of this set after starting down 2-0 right now.
And we actually found out during our break that the Knights are actually running a 6-2 for this game instead of a 5-1 with Hattie Shaban, so he will get the opportunity to hit in this game. Not sure who the other setter will be, but that is one of the points we have noticed.
And that's something you know to try when you're playing in these tournament games, and they don't necessarily count for regular season games, as we talked about. This is the opportunity for you to try and let a lot of things loose and see how you can improve come season time and when a lot of these regular season games begin, because you are playing for a tournament title and you are playing a lot of games, but these won't count against your AIA record. So this is the time to test things and to move people to different places that they might not be in, to kind of see where people lie. As North hits the ball out of bounds, and that will be the point to the Knights. That was Jose Rivas, who's their junior outside hitter, hit that one out for North.
And Elias Hernandez is actually on his 3rd serve now, so getting a little run for the Knights as they're up 6-3.
This one goes back and looks like it's going to be played off the wall, and unable to get it was North, and Ramses Seed, who's one of their right side hitters and also outside hitter, playing in the back row right now. And
a very important idea to think about is that serve that the Knights are putting in. The stronger it is, the more out of system you put the other team for that point, and that's a very important thing to have when you're playing scrappier teams, to get them out of system and to make sure you have that opportunity of maybe a free ball or an easier swing to you.
And when you don't have a jump serve and you have a float serve like a lot of the Knights have, is it more of aggression or is it more of spotting you have to try to focus on when you're serving that way?
And some may say that float serves are actually more difficult to receive than top spin.
And as we say that, there's a big kill for Arizona College Prep, and Zach in the middle, number 14, able to pick that one up for the Knights. Zach Lund has had a big impact today in the blocking game, and also with his timing in the middle on hits. He and Elias Hernandez have proven to be a really effective middle pair for the Knights. So here's going to be Tanner Hamlin, the lefty, serving for the Knights, and that one goes into the net. 8-5 advantage for ACP through this first set. Knights looking to improve to 5-2 in sets done today.
Yep.
Could easily be 6-1, but there were a couple points that went here and there, and that's something that's going to have to be corrected before bracket play continues this afternoon. Lucas McDougall goes
a strong
to that
swing.
opposite corner.
Yep.
And that's where he likes to go. He had it. It seemed like it came off a roll shot in the last game and that he wasn't intending. And he's like, you know what? I like that spot. And he went 2 or 3 more times, and there's another one right there.
Yeah, pushing that deep swing is always a super good idea because that middle man who stands in the middle doesn't have as much time to get to that middle, that deep corner spot.
And Lucas, if you're just joining us, Lucas is a basketball player turned volleyball player. He's still playing basketball, but volleyball transplant, and he's really working today on his timing and finding ways to get the ball down in different areas and just working with his setters on finding the rhythm of volleyball, but he's really picking up the sport quick, as you can see.
Super great. He's doing super great at that.
His swing is looking very, very coordinated. His technique is good. It's just a matter of fine-tuning those little things to transition from being a basketball player to a volleyball player.
And now the Knights are up with a 3-point lead.
Serving in the back is Jonah Mello, who's wearing the libero jersey. That one's going to sail out. So some missed serves, and that's kind of taking away a couple points from the Knights. Yeah, communication, things that seem to be in their control that they have to focus in on if they're to extend the lead that they currently have right now, which is 10-8 in this set.
Taking the time to control the things that you can control is super important in games like this, where the opponent might not be as strong. You just have to maintain that, because even scrappy teams.
And a big block by Ian Booth at the net sends it back over, and the Knights are able to pick up the point, 11-8. Ian was able to get that block on the right side hitter. Looks like Diego Mundo for North High School. Great play by Ian there to give the Knights an advantage and to see if they can use momentum here. Going to set it over to the right side again. Goes back over to ACP's side. Elias Hernandez pops it up, but no one's there to get it, and the Knights have to save without a point. So again, that was Diego Mundo on the right side that was able to get things going, and he checks out, and a couple new players checking in for North High School.
Yeah, looks like those half and half balls are the ones that the Knights have to be able to pick up, because if they're half and half on the net, we got to either put them down or put them in a smarter spot.
And especially in a game against a team that might not have as much ball control as some of the teams that ACP has played earlier today, those are the points that are maybe going to decide, you know, the margin of victory.
Yep.
Because of some of those plays are going to be broken and not necessarily under the control that you would like. And so that's absolutely a key part of this game.
And probably the most difficult part of playing against a team with a bit less ball control would be making sure you don't play down to their level. Your skills just as strong as you know they can be. So.
Absolutely, and right now it looks like Zach Lund's going to check back in. Jonah Mello, who is checking out at the moment as the libero for the Knights. Serving for ACP, who leads 12-10, is Elias Hernandez. Gets it back toward the right back. North's going to go toward the middle. Knights pick it up. And then Lucas McDougall gets a chance to hit. It goes to the back row, and the Knights pick up the point.
Again, he pushes those seams of those back row defenders.
So there's ACP. They built a 3-point lead, which is kind of where they've been at throughout this match.
4-point, yeah.
4-point lead now, 14-10. And into the net it goes, and that'll be another point for the Knights.
So the Knights have to make sure to keep up that energy during this game that's a bit slower than previous ones.
Here we go again. Knights going toward the middle back this time. North sends it back over. Opposite is Tanner Hamlin, who looks deep corner, looked like it dropped. Let's see if he got it. Looks like a point for ACP.
Yep.
Not sure. It looked like the ref was signaling toward the left side. So.
Yep.
But regardless, the Knights hold a 15-11 advantage. Going again toward that middle back spot. North's going to go opposite. Elias Hernandez gets a dig on it, and it goes back over the net. North gets it back over. One-handed deflection on the 1-2. Lucas McDougall goes toward the middle this time, and he's able to find that. So this time there's Lucas changing up his attack, going straight through the block and back toward the middle. So trying to move things around from that.
Trying to try some line swings as well. Varying that is super great, just like Ian Booth.
And that would be the next step for Lucas to take in today's tournament, is to target all three areas when you look at the middle, the opposite corner, and also down the line. We've yet to see him go down the line, but that was something that would really diversify his attack. That ball's going to go off the block of Zach Lund and back over to North. That's a 17-12 advantage now for ACP. So this is a game the Knights are slowly starting to pull free from. They're kind of picked up on some of the sloppy balls, and they've been able to get things back in their control. What's the big thing here now? Because you have an advantage, and you're maybe playing a team that you know isn't necessarily, that can play necessarily at your level.
Yep.
How do you avoid complacency when you're in a position like this?
I think just overly talking more than you think you should, because obviously with teams that don't have as much ball control, the ball does end up on your side more often, and you assume that there isn't as much communication needed, but that's where some people think wrong, because you probably need even more communication just because you can put that ball down easier.
And for those of you who don't realize how significant complacency can be, for those of you college basketball fans, look no further than last night. Washington, who was 13-1 in Pac-12 play in college basketball, went to face Cal, who was 0-15, hadn't won a game yet. Had a 16, I believe, game losing streak there. 5-22 going in. Washington was 22-5. And Cal ended up winning the game. So anyone can beat anyone on any given day, no matter what the sport. We've seen it happen time and time again. So complacency, you have to find a way to surpass it. And as Daria mentioned, that's the way, is to overemphasize things and to over-execute.
Yeah, that over-execute and just overly do those things that you assume that will happen on their own, because nothing happens on its own in any athletics. That's the beautiful thing about sports. Anything can happen, and momentum switches all the time.
Knights get the point here. Hadi Shaban sent it over on the opposite side. And it's now going to be 19-14 in favor of ACP. So talking a little bit with KJ Strues before the match, ACP's coach, who's been walking the sidelines before the game. As you can see, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. And we talked to him, and he said that he got the polo on Wednesday, and he's like, that's not my thing. And so he's a guy that will wear his Hawaiian shirt, and he's like, I don't mind being recognized as the guy with the Hawaiian shirt, or the coach with the Hawaiian shirt when he was at Anderson Junior High School. So that's his style, that's his wear. And he's going to continue to do his thing, and I think a lot of these guys with Arizona College Prep are adopting that attitude and that sense of individuality. And
yeah, just like the ACP VB legacy and logo for us, that was adopted, and that's our thing. And just like that, KJ does the same thing with his Hawaiian shirts, and that just reinforces that idea of being yourself always and establishing a legacy.
He said that he's like, the best quote was, that's my thing. I'm going to continue to do it.
Yep.
So.
All right, so.
Great opportunity to learn and explore the mind of Coach KJ. But back to the volleyball game, the Knights have it on their side. They're going to go outside to Ian.
And a huge swing. Wow. Beautiful.
That might have been his best kill today. He had a lot last match, but that one was something.
And he got up there so high to bang it cross.
I don't think I've seen him jump that high before.
Yeah, me neither.
And Ian's really been working on his vertical, he tells me. And, I don't necessarily believe him, but now I believe. It's plays like those that make you change your mind and see things. So after that, the Knights are able to continue to hold the point. North is going to get it. They're down 20-16. And going back to serve for them right now is Isaac Ajayi, a sophomore, who's an outside hitter as well.
All right, so ACP has to maintain this strong lead they have here. Just a couple points, 4 points, but it is a very big lead in volleyball.
John Canner gets it up. Saved by Hattie Shaban. Elias Hernandez gets it back over the net. Ian Booth goes up for the block against Diego Mundo of North. Knights try to send it back over. Hattie Shaban gets it. Mundo puts a touch on it, and ACP comes away with the point.
And the Knights are up by 5 points once again.
So ACP nearing match point, but again, the Knights were in control of their first match against Marana today. And when the ACP was up 24-9, looking like they were going to save set point, Miranda reeled off 5 straight. They had some early momentum in the second set, and even though ACP won, that just shows you the importance of trying to close these sets when you have the advantage.
Yep, no complacency.
Ian Booth again, off the block, out of bounds, and he's really starting to find a rhythm now.
Yep. He has gotten to that front row, and he has really made a huge impact as soon as he got to that front row.
Diversifying his attacks and passing well and finding opportunities, swinging with confidence as Hattie Shaban picks up an ace. And the Knights do a celebration I haven't seen them do before. I remember ours was I think it was a whip.
Yeah.
That was something. And then I think we all fell down after that. So.
Yep.
Not as cool as that one though. That one was probably pretty unique. Elias Hernandez gets a ball around the center of the net and tries to send it back down, but it goes out, and North's going to get the point. So 23-17 in favor of of ACP currently.
So the Knights should try to get this side out as soon as possible to maintain their strong lead.
A great play by Hattie Shaban to get that pass up. ACP sends it back over. Ian Booth and Elias Hernandez get a block on the hit from North. That was Aaron Miller who on the hit, but the point looks like a Knight got into the net, and North will save it, and they will have serve now.
All right, now their lead has been cut down to 6 points, so the Knights have got to make sure they close this set out as soon as possible.
Can't give up any momentum here as our view is blocked a little bit at the moment. But at the North's going to serve. It goes to the back row, and the Knights go to the opposite end. North picks it up, tries to go outside. Great pass, great set from Hattie Shaban. Ian Booth sends over a down ball. North's going to take it, a lighter ball over to the outside. Shaban picks it up. Tanner Hamblin on the opposite end.
And a great lefty swing.
Okay. Those are one of those plays in volleyball where you got to play until the whistle goes, and it looks like that's what Coach Heather Orr, who's on the sidelines right now, is telling her team, wait till the whistle blows, because there's opportunities if it seems like you get the point and someone else gets it back up that you can lose the point right after that, and that's a huge swing of momentum. A jump serve.
A great swing. Wow.
On set point, he picks it up, and the Knights come away with a 25-18 set 1 victory, their 5th set win of the day.
An awesome set. That was amazing volleyball and some great swinging from the outsides, going to work for those cross swings and just taking the lead and taking the advantages that they got from their setters.
So I don't want to put too much speculation into the all-tournament team because that's decided by the coaches and everyone else. But looking at it today, the Knights have had a couple guys stand out. And I don't want to put bias on this, but Ian Booth is really...
Ian Booth is, yes.
He's been really effective as an outside hitter today.
Because of his variation. And it's not just a one-sided, like, always hitting cross, just super hard type thing. It's like he varies his attack all the time depending on what's going on during the play. And that's the most, like, awesome part about him and his style of play.
How about Hattie Shaban, not naturally a setter, but coming in, setting today.
Had never set before.
Right.
Yeah, and he had that opportunity to make that huge impact on the team. Where would they be without a setter now?
No way. Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit in the earlier games. Kevin Liu, who was the Knight setter for the previous 2 years, is not on the team this year. And then Ryan G has an ankle injury, so he's unable to go. He was the Knight starting setter in the beginning of the year. So Shaban was called up, and he's really been providing a great impact for the Knights. We saw even on that last ball where they just had to send it back over, and he dove on his knees and got it back up with one hand.
Yep.
It's efforts like those that you like to see out of your setters, which are the equivalent of like quarterbacks in football.
Yep, the effort, the endurance, the drive, that's what setters have to make sure they're successful and that they show strength for their team, because if a setter doesn't show strength, there's no way the team will succeed.
So if you're in ACP's huddle right now, you see them kind of talking to each other.
Yeah.
You had a really good, strong ending to that set.
Yeah.
You're playing well right now. What are you telling your team as a leader before you go out in the second set and try to close things off in the last pool play set?
Immediately, I'd say they're coming back. They're going to come back harder and stronger than ever, so we cannot take them lightly. And we have to keep pushing and playing the volleyball that we know how to play.
And that's something that ACP will have to continue to do. And
Yep.
as we've identified today, that kind of volleyball is great passing, setting up its outside attack, its middle attack.
Yep,
when
keeping
necessary.
everything in system as much as possible with that defense, which is definitely shining at the moment because no problems have occurred in that back row, at least in this game. So that's a good thing always.
Control will continue to be a key part.
Yep.
As the Knights are currently back out in the court, just waiting for North to get back out too for set number 2. Again, this is ACP's last set of pool play. The Knights are 5-2 now. Had a couple close ones not go their way, but overall a great showing today for the Knights as they look to close off strong here before the bracket play is announced, and we'll be back after all the games are completed to provide you the latest information on that.
And we also have a bit of a switch up on this set. We have a different libero for the Knights. We have Basel Al-Hassan trying out that libero position in place of Jonah Mello for this one. I assume that Coach KJ is switching it up, trying to see what works for everyone and what works the best for our team. Because the defense is doing super well, and probably testing out different options is the best way to see who thrives there the best.
So Basel will get that opportunity at libero. He's going to start in right back. In the front, ACP as Matisse Hervé, and then also Elias Hernandez. And
Looks like the
Patty
first
Shaban
serve
right
is
now.
out, yep.
First serve is out for North, so the Knights will get a side out right away and will control serve, leading 1-0 in the second set. And to start, it's going to be Hattie Shaban who tries a jump serve, but that one goes into the net. So 1-1 tie after 2 missed serves.
1-1.
And then 3 missed serves. How about that? So the second set started off really sloppy with 3 missed serves in a row. Ian Booth's going to get an opportunity. He's been getting a lot of kills at the net, but now he's got to try to make a serve so the Knights can extend an advantage here in the second set. And he does. He goes short. North's able to pick it up. It goes over the net. On the net was an attack by the Knights, but it goes back over. North's going to go to the opposite end, try to attack the back right corner where Basel Al-Hassan is not. He can't get there, and they take the 2-1 advantage.
Yeah, just like we had been attacking that back corner, it's just as hard for us to go and get to that deep corner for that libero.
So North go ahead and is making some substitutions now. Number 16, Jose Rivas, is checking in. And then in the back, serving right now for North is Rafael Pozo. So 3-1 advantage for North, or excuse me, 2-1.
2-2.
Here comes a serve to the outside. Knights have to free ball it over Elias Hernandez. Another free ball, nice one by North, trying to save it from going against the wall.
Yep, looks like North went into the net, so the Knights are going to get that point.
So that one will be 3-2 advantage of ACP.
Looks like both teams should probably turn it up a bit on both sides. Haven't started off to a very good start so far.
It's a really quiet gym right now, and if you're ACP, they've had energy throughout the day. They, like we mentioned, they won that first set. But right now, a lot of quiet and dead air, so someone's got to be able to figure this out as Elias Hernandez tries a jump serve, and it goes into the net too. So not the start, as you were saying, Daria, that
Yeah.
the Knights wanted it, and it seems like they're maybe taking their foot off the gas a little bit.
They have to make sure not to stay complacent like we had been saying earlier.
And
Looks
there,
like
and there it is.
Another,
Missed set
yeah, another missed serve from both teams. A bit of a quieter start.
So already, I believe that's 4 or 5 missed serves, so someone's got to break that. This is
Yep.
a tough start to this set. Here's Matisse Hervé. Tries to jump serve
A
himself,
great
goes to the middle
serve
back,
from
and he picks up an ace.
Matisse.
So there's a great serve to pick up the action here in
Yeah.
the second set.
A
Matisse
great
Hervé,
aggressive serve.
He's going to check out, and Sydney Lyons is going to come in. A great serve by Matisse, though. He's really provided a lot of energy today. Very excited. Early start this morning, but he's still playing really good volleyball and encouraging his teammates. Hadi Shaban gets an opportunity in the front row as an attacker, and he takes advantage of it, going straight down.
Wow, an amazing idea from Hadi.
That's the kind of play that can turn the set. It is 6-3 for ACP, and after that, let's see if they'll use it to provide momentum for their team. Sydney Lyons serves.
Speaking of offensive setters, our girls setter actually, Coach Orr would constantly talk about having to be offensive and be more aggressive on the net. Even though you are a setter, you are still an attacker too. So just keep that in mind, that Hadi does have that in mind when he's setting.
And what kind of opportunities do having a setter attack? I know it'll probably shift the blockers in some sense or form, but
Yep.
just how important is that, having that ability?
Definitely having that opportunity just obviously creates another attacker. You have attackers if your setter just sets one of them, but now there's 4, and there's 4 threats on the net for the other team to constantly keep track of, and that's a lot harder than just 3.
So right now, looking to our right, court 1 is done.
With
no games
pool.
going on right here,
Yeah.
while ACP and North are on the other end. A nice serve by the Knights, an attack by North, and that might have been their best hit of the match for North.
Looks like ACP has put in a couple more new people than they had for their starting lineups previously. We have Sydney Lyons in, we have Jonah in as well as Bossel, and we have Zach.
An out serve again. So
And-
Elias Hernandez and Zach Lund are going to check out for the Knights.
It looks like John, our previously back row player, is front row at the moment.
Front row.
He is playing middle for some reason.
John's up there blocking.
A smaller guy, but he's getting that opportunity.
Right. And as we say that, Ian Booth gets a free ball from the left back position to drop at the 10-foot line. So ACP has a 9-5 advantage here in the second set.
And I guess the Knights are having some fun with it now. Putting
They
in
must
a,
be.
putting in a.
A really strong hit there by North. Goes off the body of an ACP player. So still a close set right now, 9-6 in favor of the Knights, but North is really starting to pick up their front row attacks. They had a couple of good hits from their front row guys and keeping things interesting here. That was Jose Rivas on the hit.
Looks like an amazing dig from Bossel.
North goes outside. Bossel saves it from going out. Ian Booth for the left side attack.
Yeah.
Goes middle, and there's
Wow.
Ian Booth
Unbelievable. Great swinging from Ian Booth yet again. He is on fire today.
Hadi Shaban back to serve. Last time he was up, he missed his jump serve attempt. Let's see if he's going to try to go to the jump again.
Looks like he is. Yep.
There it is. High toss in.
That is
Goes to right back.
nice deep swing.
North tips it over. Boss is going to set up Ian for a left side attack. Goes off the block.
And
towards the
another
line, and
kill for Ian. Yes.
Ian's really finding a rhythm today.
Yep.
Early on in that first game, he didn't really have it. He was kind of testing the waters in terms of his swing, but now he's swinging with confidence, and he's really letting his arm go without hesitation, it seems like.
Looks like an ace from Hadi with an Amazing jump serve. Wow.
Great serve by Hattie. That might have been the best jump serve we've seen from
Yep.
anyone on ACP today.
I think today in general.
Yeah.
Not many people are jump top spinning today, but Hattie has begun to try that out.
Hattie's going to try a jump serve again. Toward the middle, North goes. Finds Hattie in right back position. Knights get it up. Bossel sends it over deep corner.
A bit of miscommunication, but they ended up getting that over.
Knights get it up again. Matisse Survey is going to send it back on the free ball. North's going to try to get it over, and the Knights get it. A couple great recoveries from ACP.
Yep.
North had some good attacks, but ACP was able to get on top of it and send the ball back over 2 times.
Yeah, the most important part in that play was just keeping that ball going, because you got to keep that.
So Hattie looks like he's starting back near the boys' locker room, which is in the left corner of the gym, to begin his jump serve.
And another ace from Hattie. Wow.
He's really in the zone with his jump serve now.
Yeah, really working on that contact. Solid contact, straight down that line.
And as we say this, North is kind of trying to figure things out. Head coach Mindy Williams is over there trying to provide some instruction, but right now Hattie Shaban's serves are just really providing a lot of trouble. Goes towards middle black. North gets it up. Knights get a touch on it. Jonah Mello's going to get it up, and John Canner will send it over via free ball. North's going to go for an opposite
And an
attack.
awesome block from Ian.
By guess who?
Straight down, Ian Booth.
Really, really providing a big boost today.
Yeah. Huge role on the team today.
Hattie Shaban with the jump serve again.
And mixing it up with a jump flow.
Bosley
Yes.
gets it up on the send over with his right hand. North's going to go right here for a middle attack. Sends it over kind of on a roll shot. Ian Booth, another swing. Goes up and back over, but it did hit the top of the roof, so the Knights get the point. And they've suddenly built a double-digit advantage thanks to Hattie Shaban's serve and Ian Booth's attack from the outside.
A huge run by Hattie, and way to be aggressive with those serves. That's crazy.
Hattie sends it down to the middle of the court. Back over by the middle attacker. Looked like that was John Canner. Jonah Mello with the free ball in the back row. Here's North setting up their offense. Opposite side attack. Sails out of bounds.
And great
Pick
communication.
up the point.
Great communication by the Knights to make sure that they hear that that ball was out.
And that was Leo Saldano who made the hit for North, but it went opposite and out of bounds. So just unable to bring that one back. ACP up to a 17-6 lead, and Hattie Shaban is still serving with his jump serve. North sends it over. Bossel Al Hassan's able to get a hand on it to get it back over the net for ACP. Jonah Mello steps in. Hattie gets a set. And then Matisse Survey is able to try to get a hand on it, but it looks like it was a lift. So that point will go to North at 17-7 advantage now for ACP.
Yep. A huge run by the Knights there. Wow.
It was all coming down to Hattie Shaban's serve. He missed his first one, but then he really found the groove with that jump serve there, and North just really had a tough time handling it.
Might have been worth it for that one missed serve.
They go Ian Booth to the opposite side, and he tries to save it, and he tips it, goes off the block of North, and we have a little bit of a stall in play, but it looks like that should be a point for the Knights.
And speaking of jump serves and Hattie, just like we said previously, you just have to keep swinging. He missed his first serve, but as soon as he tried one more time, he told himself that he would get that serve over, and he had that huge run. So
here's an opportunity now. Ian Booth's going to try the jump serve, but that one goes into the net. So he tried his best Hattie Shaban impression, and it didn't work out for Ian that time, but he has done a great job working the outside tonight, and as we said, working the variations with his attack. So
yep, still a 10-point lead for the Knights. They've got to make sure to close this one as soon as possible.
right, momentum can't swing, especially where it seems like in a situation where ACP's all in control.
Yep.
Got to make sure they hold on to it there.
Out.
So that one's going to sail out of bounds. The serve for Rafael Pozo. And the Knights will jump back ahead by 11 points here at 19-8. John Canner got his run at middle front, but he's out now, and he's going to check out now as ACP will get.
So Elias
Zach Lund back
Hernandez back to serve.
There's Elias Hernandez. Hitting the ball to the middle back. North's going to attack opposite side. Elias is able to pick that up in the back row. Matisse Hervé tries to send it over. It's blocked. Picked up by the Knights and sent back over toward the left back position. North goes outside. Block is made by Matisse Hervé, and the Knights are at 20.
A strong contributor to today's huge block that we're presenting against all of the teams.
Blocking has really been something that ACP has picked up, I feel like, as the day has gone on. Its middles have gotten more comfortable with timing and closing the gap with some of the outside hitters and the setters. So something to really keep an eye on as tournament play approaches.
Yep.
North's going to set up a
and now a free ball, yeah.
Elias Hernandez outside to Nathan. Sends it over across his body, and it's able to work. The Knights pick up the point.
And Elias Hernandez is still back at the serve.
If you think about it, about 2, 3, what do you think, 4 servers that ACP's had in this set, it's really been a lot of guys staying consistent back there. Back to serve again is Elias Hernandez as the Knights have built a 14-point advantage and are closing in on their 6-1 set of today. Ball gets up, Zach Lund at the middle of the net, and he's able to put it back down, and Zach continuing to play with a lot of energy today.
Yep, dodging that block right in front of him, he hits it right to the side of it and straight down.
Elias Hernandez looking to close things off. The Knights need 2 more points to close this set and put an end to pool play here. North's going to send it over back corner.
Yep.
Elias tries to get a hand on it and just goes off his fingers.
Looks like that one would have been in, so that was a good thing that he did touch that ball.
Yep. At least put a hand on it. Back to serve now for North is Arnaldo Falcon Cruz. Nathan tries to get a hand on the serve receive ball. ACP sends it back over, finds the deep corner, gets North off guard, and now the Knights are at set point.
And
again,
Matisse is up to serve now.
And again, 24-9 advantage for ACP in its first 1 set of the day against Marana. And the Knights were able to let Marana reel out 5 straight points, so it's important to close here. Wausau Hassan gets it. They're going to go outside to Nathan, who puts down the down ball in the back corner of North's defense. A free ball that results in Ian Booth's hands.
And an amazing swing.
And that'll do it.
Yep.
The Knights wrap up their 6th 1 set of the day, 25-9, and that might have been their most dominant that we've seen today.
That last swing, that middle connection, just like we said previously, so good.
And they found a lot of connections with the outside attack. Their service is great. Hadi Shaban had the jump serve working. Ian Booth was trying to hit all kinds of areas with his outside attack, so an overall powerful, effective outing for ACP in that match.
Powerful swinging and amazing blocking definitely allowed for them to dominate this game all the way through.
So that'll be it for ACP's pool play. Again, the Knights finished 6-2. It remains to be seen where they will end up in tournament play. Right now, we're going to take a quick break on Sports 360 AZ. For Trevor Booth and Daria Sukareva, we'll be back in a few.
All right, let's do some.
I ate lunch at D1, so that means that I'm fed enough to be here. Yeah. this camera's not recording, please just.
Yeah?
Brackets are next, or they already do the brackets? Stand.